Hey everyone, it's Nicole Mitchell and I'm back. And for those of you who hate crooked pictures, I've tried to fix this a couple times and it just keeps going back kind of crooked. So I'm just leaving it and I'm sorry if it bugs you. I'm excited about today because I want to share with you something I didn't learn until about 5 or 6 years ago. So over the years, I grew up in a religious culture where anyone at any time could give me their opinion on what they thought I was doing wrong or where I needed to improve or where I might be sinning, etc. And a lot of these people were often older than me and were obviously religious. And some of these people like hardly knew me at all, and some of these were maybe good friends with my family. And 5 or 6 years ago, we were going to a church, and it's the first time I had ever heard from a pastor, and from this particular pastor, that no one can speak into your life unless you've given them permission. And I was like, I was floored by that, you guys. I was floored to know that I had a say and who could have a say in my life. I didn't know that was an option. But that made so much sense to me because over the years, through my different churches or my different workplaces, different people who were religious and older than me, whether or not they knew me, would always give me their opinions on what I was doing wrong or where I was possibly sinning or where I could be improving. And I get their intent. They want to be helpful, but it was a pretty harmful thing because they actually hardly knew me. A lot of these people hardly knew me, my heart, my situation, but all of a sudden they had lots of opinions, or in other words, judgments about me, and they communicated them to me on a semi-regular basis. And so this was the beginning of me learning about my own agency. I didn't even know that term, agency, personal agency, where I have a say over my life and I have a say over who speaks into my life. So since then, I have a very intimate circle of people that I have given permission to speak into my life. When they see a red flag, when they have a concern, anything, they can bring that to me because we have a deep relationship, we have history together, we have mutual trust. And so I know when they bring a concern to me, it's rooted in those things. And I'm willing to listen. So I have a very intimate circle that I have given that permission to. And then I have a little bit wider of a circle. People I value, people, they may give me their opinions, but I take it with a grain of salt. It's nothing that I'm gonna let weigh me down completely, but I'll take it in consideration. And then everyone else, I don't really care what their opinions are. If I opened myself up to anyone and everyone's opinions, I would be destroyed because everyone has a different opinion and a lot of people hold very strong opinions. And I see that now over the years before I learned that I could have a say about who speaks into my life. And before I learned that, I was always kind of tormented because so many people were giving me opinions, and because I was oftentimes the younger person in the church or in the workplace, I was, this was especially during my single years, it was like I was expected to take their opinion as truth and change accordingly. And I didn't know how to do that when these people literally didn't know me, but they felt like they could speak their judgment or their opinion to me. And I share this, and I share this specifically to my LGBTQ community because so many people have so many opinions about us. And it is not our job to take in everyone's opinions. It is our job to live a life of love. And one of the most loving things we can do to ourselves is be very selective on who can speak into our lives. And I think that's where we have that core circle of those friends and loved ones that we have given that permission to. And then everyone else, we're not gonna live and die by their opinions. And I share this because when I came out publicly, I have to laugh now because it made me cry at first, but now it's so ridiculous. Is like all these people came out of the woodwork to give me their opinion about my sexuality. All of a sudden, they felt like they had this permission to have an opinion on my sexuality, when before they never had an opinion, or at least a public opinion about my sexuality. But because they learned a new detail about my life, all of a sudden, these are people I've literally met one time in my life. These are people that I have not seen or spoken to in 15 years. These are people just way out there, came rushing in with their opinions and judgments. And it was so bizarre. So bizarre. And some of the things they would write, oh, you guys, I've been tempted at times to screenshot what people write me and post it publicly. Because if you feel comfortable saying those things to me, then you need to feel comfortable having those things be shown in public. I haven't done that yet, but just a fair warning, I might do that someday because some of these comments are so absurd. And at first, they really affected me. I cried. I felt so icky by these people. And now I'm just like, no, their opinion does not matter to me because we don't have that kind of relationship. We don't have that kind of history. We don't have that mutual trust that the people in my inner circle do, right? So they can have their opinions, they can air them for the world to see, or they can private message me on Facebook, and I just don't care. I let them go. I bless them and I release them. So I share this because, so here's my takeaway points. For my fellow LGBTQ people and other people that this applies to, you get to choose who speaks into your life and you let the rest go. I hope that feels as empowering to you as it did to me 5 or 6 years ago. And everyone's gonna have an opinion about who you should choose. Nope, you choose. This is your role, this is your agency, you choose. For the people who love to give their opinions, don't give your opinion unless you're invited to do so. And I know that is really hard for some people because they believe if they don't share their 2 cents, no one else will, or this person's not gonna be saved or changed or whatever. Well, first of all, it is not your job to change or save anyone. Second of all, trust me that when you think you're the only person who's gonna give these 2 cents, you're not. All of these people who started messaging me or contacting me after I came out publicly, I think they probably thought they were the only ones who were telling me the truth. I got so many messages, you guys, from so many people that were conveying the same message. And I was like, trust me, you're not the only one. So stop having the savior complex. And if anything, and the third thing I want to share is when there's 2 people in a situation and you're really, really, really wanting to change this person, who in actuality can you change? Who is the only person you can change? Whether you're in a relationship with someone, you're in conversation with someone, you have an opinion about someone, it's yourself. You can only change yourself. So whenever I have that inkling, that initial reaction where I want to change someone, to me, that is the cue that I need to go inward. I need to look at myself for a moment and think, okay, what is it about this person that I want to change? Why am I wanting to change that about them? And then I look and realize, okay, I cannot change that person. I can only change me. So what needs to happen here? Do I need to put up a stronger boundary between this person and me? Do I need to have a hard, honest conversation? Does there need to be a confrontation? Do I need to slowly withdraw? Or or maybe I have all this garbage that I'm projecting onto other people. So maybe it's time I take all my garbage and bring it to a therapist office and deal with it. So yeah, so I'm trying to hit 2 different audiences here. Those of you who, like me, have been given so many opinions and judgments for so many years of your life about how you're always doing something wrong and you're just never enough. You're not Christian enough, you're not straight enough, you're not right enough, whatever. Put all those opinions to the side and you choose those core people who can speak into your life. And then secondly, for those who love to give opinions, please do not give your opinion unless you're invited to do so. And thirdly, when you want to change someone, turn inward. See where you might need to change. See where you might need to stop trying to have a savior complex and do some inner work so that you can better love other people. All right, hope that's helpful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.